your next service or online at TillyHD.com. Be road ready with Tilly of Statesville.
The following is a paid program and does not necessarily reflect the views of WSIC.
Welcome to Community Centered, a show that features people in the community doing good things. Now, here are your hosts, Debbie O'Handley and Margi Kyle.
Welcome, welcome. You are listening to Community Centered. I'm your hostess, Debbie O'Handley, with my friend Margi Kyle. And we are now so excited to tell the community that we are sponsored by the McIntosh Law Firm. For those of you that don't know them, get to know them. They are amazing. They are our local legal resource for anything to do with legal issues. And I will tell you that I know Mr. McIntosh personally, and I know that him and all of his attorneys have over 200 years of combined legal experience. So if you are in need or looking, they can assemble a team for you that can answer any kind of service that you could need. They are client-focused and dedicated, and one of the things that I love the most about them is that they are involved in the community.
Yes.
So a lot of his attorneys support local nonprofits with their sponsorships and their involvement, and Margi and I are the dubious recipients of a sponsorship of this radio show. So thank you to the McIntosh Law Firm. Bob, you're amazing, and we appreciate all of your attorneys and what you do. And if you are a nonprofit and you're listening and you're interested in doing a segment with Margi and I, we would love to have you. You can always call the studio at 844-STUDIO-4 or reach out to Margi and I personally.
Absolutely.
How are you, my friend?
I'm okay.
Just okay?
It's been a hard week.
Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
lost another friend.
Oh,
and
goodness.
It's, it's tough.
I need to sprinkle you with some holy water.
Yeah.
I think so. And I think people are having a hard season. I know we had the debate. We're not talking about it. And some people are still reeling about that a little bit. But we do have the holiday coming up, something to get excited about.
Yes.
Something to celebrate, no matter what. We God bless
and I
America.
hope the heat sort of goes down a little bit.
The last 2 days have been
Unbelievable.
delightful.
Yeah.
This morning I had my window open for a brief period of time. I was like, oh, that's what fresh air smells like. That's amazing.
And my air conditioner went out. And
Margi.
I know. It was a long weekend.
You do need an anointing. For sure. No, and I know my son Patrick just arrived just shortly before I came into the studio. He's here for the holiday weekend. And my poor family, they come to visit and they get assigned tasks to do at Hope House. So he's like, what do you want me to do? I said, straight up to my office. Computer needs fixing. And he'll be out at the new builds with me either later today or tomorrow to check it out.
Yeah.
So it's always great that my family loves to participate and give back. And they do it really without questioning it. So I'm delighted he's here. His sister can't be because she is pregnant and unable to travel, but we will miss her. And the show must go on, right?
That's right.
That's right. So I am, so excited about our guest today. I don't know if you know this about me, Margi, but when I lived in Massachusetts before we moved here, I was the executive director of the Family Literacy Program, where our community, we are a federal funded program. Our community had the distinct honor, I guess, of having one of the highest teenage pregnancy rates in the nation. But in order to combat that, they combat it with family literacy, which I think is such an amazing tool and an amazing resource for families in experiencing poverty and low income. So books are a passion of mine, and I even know I can tell you that my daughter's going to have a baby shower, and it is a literacy-themed baby shower.
Oh, my gosh.
A new chapter begins. So we are excited about that, and I'm also connected to Scholastic through some friends and my daughter's previous employer. So excited to talk about books and getting them into the hands of kids and adults, I understand. So we're going to take this journey together and learn about all the amazing things that they do in our community. So I just want to say, before I even take a deep dive with them, thank you for what you do. It's important. It's a passion of mine and my family's. And Margi, I know that you have the honor of getting to visit the bookmobile and see the
Several
action.
times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see what they do. So we're excited to get
Yeah.
their name out there. And again, if you have any questions, we'll take a call to Kat and Jesse. So our number is 844-STUDIO-4. You can call in, and we'd be delighted to answer any questions you might have.
And my uncle was president of Random House, and he wrote several children's
Look at,
books.
Margie throws it out every single time. I learn something new about her, so that's
Yeah.
kind of cool.
Oh, yeah. They never had children, and they both love cats. So he wrote several children's books on cats.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I
So-
don't think I've ever known any. Well, yes, I take that back. I do know a few people, believe it or not. Some of the women that have experienced Hope House end up writing a book.
Yes.
About their experience or about something. And I had one mom who wrote a very short snippet about Hope House from the perspective of her son, who was 5 at the time. That was completely something new to me. I always think about the impact that we make on the adult in the
Yeah.
situation and not the child. These kids, sort of vicariously live through their moms. And so to hear it from his perspective was incredible. So,
Yeah. And I'm working with a gal who is a publisher. I've known her for years. And
is that Melanie?
no,
Okay.
but Melanie's another one.
Yeah.
Yeah. A children's book for girls who maybe are bulimic or anorexic.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
That is really an important thing to address.
I never was, but I can remember my mother trying to teach me to be.
Nope.
So, yeah.
We can't have that.
So, you can't drive a car without gas. I thought you can't run a body without food.
There you go. I think it's really hard to be a kid these days. I know, we always talk about the pandemic and the fallout from that, but the fact that so much was taken from them, and it's really affecting their development and how they're growing. And we have seen a change at Hope House. Always for such a long time, we've seen the single mom with young kids, but all of a sudden we have a turnaround and we have a lot of adolescent teenage girls in the house now. And we're trying our best to keep them entertained and get them involved in things.
They don't know how to interact.
They don't. It's really tough. So we are doing what we can to get them connected in books. That's a special connector. That brings everybody together.
Yes, it does.
And telling stories. We talk all the time, you and I, about how the narrative is such an important part of everybody's story, and everybody has a story to tell, right?
Yeah.
And a story to read.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah.
So what else, my friend? You staying cool?
Well, our air conditioning went out, so
Oh,
no,
Lord have
I wasn't
mercy.
very cool.
Well, listen, last week you had bugs. This week, I think you need a seance over there or something for sure. Goodness, I am sorry to hear that.
Yeah. Well, it's just,
Called life.
that's right.
Right. It's
And
called life. It's
things do break down.
They do break down. That happens. But let's hope with the fireworks we change things for you, and you get some really positive things happening and some good vibes going on.
Yeah, I hope so.
Well, again, when we come back from break, we're going to be talking with Jesse and Kat, and I'm going to let you give the introduction and
I
tell us all the
will.
wonderful things that
I
they're
have
doing.
met them twice, and I love their mission and what they're doing for this community.
I think this was a great partnership to happen for both of us here, and especially with your connection with Little Smiles. What greater way to put hope in the community by putting a smile on a kid's face with a book? I think
That's right.
amazing. So
Yes.
when we come back, stay tuned. We'll be talking with Jesse and Kat, and you're listening to Community Centered, sponsored by the McIntosh Law Firm.
Amen.
Stay with us. We'll have more of Community Centered presented by McIntosh Law with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle coming up on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
I'll tell you what, there's some pretty nice weather to kick off the week of the 4th, and still really not all that humid or that crazy hot. Plenty of sunshine today. Back in those mid-80s, mostly clear tonight as we drop it back into the mid-60s. For our Wednesday, we do get a little closer to that 90-degree mark, but still without a lot of humidity. And for the 4th of July, Well, we crank it up. Mid-90s make a return with a low pop-up storm chance. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
The WSIC app is available now wherever you get your apps, featuring local deals from great local businesses like Greystone Lodge in Boone.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Wednesday, July 3rd marks the annual Field of Flags Summer Celebration at Lowe's YMCA in Mooresville. This awe-inspiring event will have live music by Inspire, over 800 American flags, food trucks, and fireworks. The flags will be on display July 2nd through the 5th. On July 3rd, the Mooresville Lake Norman Exchange Club Field of Flags ceremony will be at 6 p.m. The Inspire concert, powered by Waves Entertainment, will begin at 7, with the fireworks spectacular brought to you by Randy Marion beginning at dark. We will see you on July 3rd at Lowe's YMCA in Mooresville for the Field of Flags Summer Celebration. Birkdale's Live Under the Oaks concert series continues on Friday. The Brett Milstead performance begins at 6 p.m. Kick back and relax on the green in front of the stage at Birkdale Village in Huntersville for the free Brett Milstead show on Friday night. On Saturday, the Mooresville Festival of Food Trucks offers 17 trucks from around the area and live music from local favorite unknown artists. Trucks will be located on both Broad and Main Streets from 5 to 8:30 p.m. Bring your chairs and friends to stroll, shop, and enjoy gourmet fare this Saturday in the downtown Mooresville Social District. The Kane Center for the Arts Week 4 of summer camps begins Monday, July 8th. Morning and afternoon camps for ages 5 to 15 include ceramics, drawing, art, food, painting, and more. The fall performance season begins Saturday, September 7th with a show by comedian Tom Cotter. For more information on summer camp programs and the fall performance schedule, visit canearts.org. That's CAIN arts.org. The Cookout Summer Shootout Series fills your need for speed each week at Charlotte Motor Speedway. The 10-race series Night 7 is on Tuesday, July 9th. Visit charlottemotorspeedway.com for tickets, details, and information. To keep up with all the events happening around the community and much more, including amazing local deals, download the WSIC News app today.
Macintosh Law presents Community Centered with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
Welcome back. I am thrilled to have our show now being presented by Macintosh Local Legal Law Firm. And we're here with Kat and Jess, and I have met them twice. The last time I met them was at the Ada Jenkins Juneteenth.
Yes.
Yes.
And I thought, okay, I got to get you on the show because what you're doing just, really, as Debbie said, it really has rocked both our hearts. And books are such an important part of life and growing and learning. So, Kat, you're executive director.
I am.
Excuse me. And Jesse Brown, you are events director
Yes.
and community outreach.
Definitely, yes.
Okay, tell us a little bit about what you do.
So, what we do and what we've decided to do in our community is realize that a few things. One, there are plenty of books out there that can be recycled and find new loving homes.
Okay.
That was one thing that we noticed right away. And we decided to do the bookmobile so that access, and particularly free book access, was critical to our communities in which we serve. And so we serve the Lake Norman area as well as Charlotte-Mecklenburg, some in Gaston, Cabarrus, Rowan County, all around. And so we decided to set out on the bookmobile trail and go everywhere and anywhere we can, giving away books for free for adults and kids.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. Excuse me, I got a tickle. We were talking about that.
We were just talking about tickles, right?
And that was the picture I took at Juneteenth.
Yes.
And you go inside your big automobile and van, and you've got all those books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not just for children.
Right.
But adults too.
And young adults too.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So now I have given you Levine Children's Hospital and Jeff Gordon, the
Thank
contact
you.
there to go because I know Hope House, Debbie at Hope
Yes.
House.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what we like to do is so people ask when they see us at an event that's like a big event that is just everyone's there and they go, "Why are you even here like at this event? Because surely most of these people can afford a book and whatnot." And we're like, it's not about that. It's for everyone. And it's also about getting folks to know who we are.
That's right.
So a lot of what
Yeah.
we do is by donation, whether it's, monetary or it's book donations, which we thrive off of. And that's part of our recycling piece and the sustainability piece is having everyone know that we take books for kids and adults, which is something we get asked all the time. You take both? We're like,
Yeah.
yes,
Well, reading a book is an experience,
it is.
but going into your van is also a different experience.
I
It's
was
like
I
a
was,
kid in a candy store.
I was just looking at the picture you held up, Margie, and I'm thinking, how do those books stay on the shelf as you're mobile?
That's thanks to Jesse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, both of us actually. I mean, we at first we used tension rods was
Oh, okay.
the transportation process, but it took 5 hours sitting in Lowe's one day. We took a whole day
With a bunch
to
of people
just-
telling us their ideas, going, how
'cause-
can we stabilize this?
Yeah.
and
Because the kids love to jump around. And then we
I'm
call the
sure-
books the kids. The kids love to jump off the shelf.
Yeah.
Oh,
so we just have little slats that we created, and we just
Wood
drop
slats.
in.
Mhm.
It's like base. Honestly, it's just a baseboard molding,
It's
Okay.
extra thick
Yeah.
baseboard molding.
Okay. Well, you've perfected it because it's beautiful.
Yeah,
It
look at the
really and
inside.
truly is. I love that.
The bookmobile can hold anywhere from 1,300 to about 2,000 books at a time, which people are astounded that it can.
Yeah.
But you have those like early reader books that are like paper thin or some
Yes,
paper books.
yeah.
So
Beautiful.
those like a shelf can have a million of those on
Yeah,
them. But when
yeah.
it gets the big thick, Tom Clancy books, then it's like two to a shelf practically because he writes really large books. But no, we can hold quite a lot of books on there for sure.
Yeah.
And so people pick up the phone and call you, which
Mhm.
will give that information out. And you bring your
Mhm.
books on a wheel.
We bring those
Books on
book-
wheels. Yes.
books on. We've been called a lot of things, haven't we?
Yeah.
Books on the go.
Yeah.
That's a big
Books
one.
on wheels. But we are books on the house, and
Yeah.
that's for obvious reasons. That is because we are anything that's on the house is
Great.
Free.
Good.
And
Very good
so-
marketing.
Yep. And
Thank you.
so we know that is free. And, it's funny because most of our little kids somehow understand that more than the adults do.
Uh-huh.
And they go, because it's free when it's on the house. And everybody's like, oh.
Yeah.
So we kind of laugh at
Yeah.
that. For
It was
sure.
really funny. We did a event for a school, and it was like a career education day,
Yeah.
and the kids are like you said, because they're free.
And we're like, yes.
Good
no one
job.
gets that.
So
like
what
the little-
drove you to,
Yeah. Where
to
did
doing
where did the
this?
idea come from to do it?
Okay, so this is a long story.
We got all the
We got
time of
some
the
time.
day.
It's not really long. Like we're usually when we do a presentation, it's like you've got 10 minutes. It's like I got to condense this story.
Yeah.
But the story has evolved over probably 6 to 7 years, and the kind of thing in the room is always, are you two related? I don't know why people ask us that.
I
all
was
the
just going to
time.
ask it.
Yeah,
And we
I literally was just going to ask, are you related?
it's always the
it's elephant in the room.
elephant in the room every time.
And we go, no, not at all. And they're like, huh. Like it's so disappointing to them. I'm like,
Maybe you
sorry.
should tell them you are.
No, sometimes
It's
it
easier.
would make
Yep.
it easier.
Yeah.
And then all the questions go like, well, why and how and what? And we're
Yeah.
like, well, that's a longer story, but
Yeah.
the gist of it is, and we can tell it. Jesse doesn't mind sharing it. He's
Not at
done
all. I'm very
pres-
open about my story. And
presentations about it, and we do go around. Jesse will probably turn into a speaker here soon about his story. And I met him through my daughter at the high school that they were at, and I knew Jesse was a kid always in trouble or on the wrong path in high school. And I was always a volunteer and studying to go back for my second and third career as a teacher. And so I was always around, and with my daughter and him being friends, or she's like, you got to help him, Mom. You help everybody. You have got to help this one. I'm like, he's fine. He's fine. But Jesse, you can tell him
Yes, I mean,
some more.
I had a
parts.
turbulent childhood growing up, and so I made poor decisions as I got older. And It was a process for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And we had several ideas about how we wanted to help the community, and we
Right.
wanted to really include everybody because we could,
Because you didn't have that opportunity.
yeah, because growing up, I
Yeah.
didn't have the opportunity to
Yeah.
have
do that.
access to
It's
the
wonderful
book
to give
fairs.
back what you didn't get.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Did you grow up in foster care, Jesse? Or
No, ma'am, I didn't.
Okay.
But I was kicked out when I was 18, and I was still in high school. So I had a McKinney-Vento.
Mhm.
And so I did that, but I was not in foster care, but I did during
Bounce
that
around.
period
You bounced around a little
bounce
bit.
around
Mhm.
for a little bit, and then finally asked them if they would take me in, and
Well, he showed up at our doorstep. He
Okay.
doesn't mind me telling this.
go ahead.
He doesn't, with his pillow, like, and some clothes that he had thrown in his truck, and he goes, "Yeah, so can I stay a couple nights?" And of course, the school and I had been
Mhm.
talking this whole time about how do we,
In the
you know,
background.
in the
Mhm.
background, help him and support him. And they were like, "Okay, McKinney-Vento it. We have to make sure everything's all good where he's at." We did.
Mhm.
And then the process started. So once you're in my household, like, because I have helped many teens along the way in their lives, and I had said, "Hey, so what are your plans like after high school?" Because I got him end of his junior year.
Yeah.
He was already into crazy things that he shouldn't have been into,
Yep.
and on a path much like
My father's,
his father,
who
who
died
had
of a drug overdose when I was 7.
Okay.
And so that played a lot
Really
into
did.
the decisions I made as I got older.
it
And then,
did.
That was your reality.
yeah,
Yes,
Mhm.
and books were not in that reality. I
Mhm.
assure you.
they weren't.
Yeah.
And they bounced around a little bit, but
Mhm.
he asked me one day, "Can you just help me? I think I need some help, and I don't have any other options."
I need help was a really big understatement.
Like, it
I
was
need-
like,
Yeah.
I'm like, "What do you mean you need help?" And he's like, "Well, like, so here's the thing. I'm failing all my classes." And I said, "What's your average?" He goes, "Like a 40. We've got 3 weeks left till the end of the year." Like,
hadn't done anything
but
all
I don't
semester.
think. But if you show up at my house and you come and
But-
you're here every day,
But can we stop just for a second, just to honor the fact that he asked?
he asked.
Do you know, I've seen so many kids living in what we
Mhm.
call transition, right?
Mhm.
Whether
Mhm.
they're foster care,
Mhm.
homeless, whatever, and nobody ever asks. So, Jesse, well done to
Yeah.
think that you could find your
Yeah.
angel that could do that for you, because that's not an easy ask.
No, it's not.
It's not.
You have to really humble yourself
Yeah.
and come to
Yeah.
a certain, we talk about this all the time,
Mhm.
like, what's your rock bottom? Like, what is your where do you land on the bottom to say, I got to reach up and ask?
Yeah.
So kudos to you, and even kudos to you, Kat, for taking him in and recognizing, okay, I'm not going to coddle him. We're going to have some, what's your plan? What do you want to do? So thank you for that. I'm completely inspired,
Yeah.
and I think that's just a lovely, lovely part of your story. And you should be very honored and proud to tell it.
He
Right.
did. And
Yeah.
and he incidentally, when I said, "What are you doing?" he didn't know. He ended up going to community college.
Mhm.
Community college turned into, "Hey, I had terrible grades in high school, but will you take a chance on me?" And Penn State University, the Penn State, said, "Yeah,
Good. Good.
we will. We think you've
Mhm.
got something, because in
Yeah.
community college you excelled. You were on the president's list.
Yep.
You
Graduated
just
with honors.
graduated with
You were a
honors.
late bloomer.
Yeah.
And
I
then
was.
he just
Thank you,
graduated
yes.
from Penn State University in December.
Yay! Where's that
Um,
applause, Bill? We need some applause. Where's that applause?
I'm telling you, I
Thank you.
was like totally shocked, and he graduated with like 0.2 of a point.
Yay, there
Yay,
it
there
is.
it is. 0.2 of a point from having honors.
Yeah.
He was like,
So I consider myself having honors.
He's
Yes.
like, I have them.
Well, I know you can't see unless you're watching live streaming on the app, but he's sitting here in a button-down Ralph Lauren, looking
Goodwill.
snappy,
Goodwill.
like hair
All
done. This kid presents himself
Yeah.
really amazing. Well,
Mhm.
we're about to ready to go into break, but again, I just want to take people into the sweet side of things and thinking about there's a happy ending here, and we
Yes.
put hope back in the headline with Jesse's story. So well done. When we come back, we're going to learn more about the bookmobile. So, or the books on the house.
Yes.
Got it.
Macintosh Law presents Community Centered with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle. Coming up on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
I'll tell you what, there's some pretty nice weather to kick off the week of the 4th, and still really not all that humid or that crazy hot. Plenty of sunshine today. Back in those mid-80s, mostly clear tonight, as we drop it back into the mid-60s. For our Wednesday, we do get a little closer to that 90-degree mark. Let's deal with that, a lot of humidity, and for the 4th of July, well, we crank it up. Mid-90s make a return with a low pop-up storm chance. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Bob McIntosh here with the McIntosh Law Firm in Davidson. Serving this community has been a collective passion of our law firm since 1997. We offer the quality legal services and results you would expect from a large downtown firm, but with a personal, community-focused approach right here at home. The McIntosh Law Firm, your local legal resource.
To learn more about the McIntosh Law Firm, visit McIntoshLawFirm.com.
Febreze. As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust new Febreze car vent clips, now with 3 times greater scent control, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with new Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing, which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up, Oscar!
A violent crime is committed every 24 seconds. The U.S. Concealed Carry Association exists to provide you with firearms education, training, and access to self-defense liability insurance. So when trouble comes, you'll be ready. Over 800,000 Americans trust the USCCA, and right now, there's an exclusive, limited-time offer for radio listeners. Go to defendfamily.com to get a free family defense guide, a survival secrets training video from a retired FBI agent, and see all the benefits of membership. Go to defendfamily.com now.
The feeling of ah. You know, when you walk through the door on a hot summer day and the cold air hits you. Ah. Folks around Charlotte have been feeling that for over 40 years, all thanks to Horn Heating and Air Conditioning, hornhvac.com.
Prioritizing your health is one of the best ways to take care of yourself. From routine visits to the joys of pregnancy to the illnesses that stop you in your tracks, Iredell Health System will be by your side. Learn more at iredellhealth.org.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. The fast food wars are heating up again. Sonic going after McDonald's, Burger King, and others by launching a $1.99 value menu, offering a double cheeseburger, a queso wrap, a chili cheese dog, and more at that price, saying it's making the menu permanent, not just for the summer like its rivals. Drug maker Eli Lilly winning approval from the FDA for a new drug that has shown the ability to slow down the progression of Alzheimer's disease, which affects 6 million Americans. It'll be the second drug available in the U.S. for Alzheimer's. The head of the Federal Reserve said today inflation is cooling, but it's not yet time to lower interest rates. That's still giving Wall Street a little bit of hope. Right now, the Dow is up 0.25%. The S&P is up 0.4%. The NASDAQ 0.2% higher. And after a bidding war, a rare first edition copy of Frankenstein, written by Mary Shelley in 1818, was sold at auction for $843,000. Tom Busby, Bloomberg Radio.
Call now to speak with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle at 844-STUDIO-4. It's community-centered on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Welcome back to Community Centered. We are presented by the McIntosh Law Firm and very proud of that.
Yes.
You know, we always say during the station breaks or changes that we get some of the best conversations. And I just want to tell you how humbled Jesse is. And I feel like I'm pro Jesse. Go Jesse now. Maybe we should start a campaign.
We need
Go
to
Jesse,
praise
go.
Kat a lot too. 'Cause
Right?
She went through a lot with me on my journey.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
there always has to be that one person, right? Because what we say is when you don't have any hope, all it takes is one person to hold it for you. And when you find it again, then you can give it away. So Kat, kudos to you. You are a hope holder because you saw in Jesse something special.
Yeah.
And I want you to know there's lots of Jessies listening right now because our world has gone spinning out of control. But let's talk about the good stuff. Books on the house.
Yes.
Who is it that you are? Who's your audience? What are some of your stats that you have that you can share? Like, who are you reaching? Who are you sharing this with? Give us the goods.
So basically, everyone. So that's like the short of it. We service a lot of nonprofits too, as well, and we go to their events and their things and help them with their reading programs by giving books to them so that there is things that they have. We get a lot of requests too. For certain ones, we have a refugee community that we also serve, and trying to get books in the languages that they serve
Right.
are key. And one of the things that struck us is that the U.S. Department of Education put out a stat that was like, what? Is that 61% of children in low income or under resourced families don't have books in the home?
Mhm.
And that's nationwide. And here in Charlotte, there is a study that was done. It was a little while ago, so I know that so many literacy partners in the area are making strides with that. But 3/4 of Charlotte at that time, and probably closest still, is in a book desert. And book deserts are tough. That means that they're not in the home. We all, I think sometimes we walk into a Barnes and Noble or we just click on Amazon and we say, oh gosh, the books, we can just get whatever book we want to read. And then we're done with it and don't want it on our shelf. And so we're like, oh, well, let's just toss it when someone else
Could be using
could
it.
be using it and loving it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the other piece to it is the amount when you say, when like especially kids or teens or adults come out and go, I have been wanting this book forever. And now it's here. And I'm like, well, that's just the beauty of the magic of the bookmobile. And it
Yeah.
just kind of comes up and we love it. I know one of the stats that shocked us was that in fully resourced communities, we have for every one child 13 books in the home.
Mm.
And that's a good number. I know my children probably grew up having like 100 books for them, but in an under-resourced community, which Charlotte has several of them, there are one book for every 300 children.
Wow.
That's
Pathetic.
unacceptable.
Yes.
That's unacceptable. And so I know because oh my gosh, the literacy table in Charlotte is a beautiful thing. There are so many organizations that do free books and give them out. And our, CMS library and all the libraries around, they're phenomenal at resources and things, but sometimes the access piece isn't there.
Well, I mean, I'll just throw out a stat there for you, and this might make sense for you, is
Mhm.
that the latest housing dashboard tells us there are 4,388 children living homeless in CMS.
Wow.
Those are
That's a
only the
lot.
ones that we can count, not the ones on a hotel floor or in a car.
Right.
So that matches your stats right there. And I know when I go and publicly speak to some of the public schools and I say, if you were to become homeless, what are some of the things that you would put in your backpack? It's always a blanket and a book. And then when we go, water bottle, like toothbrush, whatever. And then I say, but what if you don't have a book? And what if you don't have a blanket? Which the disparity there, right? Like you can
Right.
see where I'm going. Our kids come in with nothing, and then we introduce them to this, and then there's some shame, right? I can't read at that level, or I don't know this book, or whatnot. So I think your stats are staggering, as well as the one on how many kids are sleeping homeless.
And that one staggers me. The one you said is
Mhm.
just unreal. I know that one of Jesse's good friends, Autumn, do you want to talk about Autumn? About how she was like when
Yeah.
she was in foster care, the one thing she always wanted?
She always wanted to have a book, and then she had ended up taking a book from the classroom, and she loved it so much, so she kept it. And then she got in trouble, and then at the end, I think they ended up letting her keep it. However, it was the one thing she wanted, and it was difficult because she didn't have that access.
Mm.
And she's always encouraged us, please give it to everyone, give the books to everyone.
Yeah.
And so we're softies. Like some events that we have, we're like, okay, 2 books per person or whatever. And you have the kid that comes up with 5, and we're like, okay.
Yeah. Well, how can you say no?
You can't.
It's
You
hard.
absolutely
can't
cannot
say
ever
no.
say no.
And I mean, like we said, we have like 1,500 to 2,000 books on the
Right.
bookmobile, and we do have a surplus, and we want something for everybody, and it's like, well, if they need it and they want it, we're gonna let them have it.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for donations, what kind of books specifically are in high demand that if our listeners were listening today,
Yes.
Yeah.
they could, and maybe we should talk to Justin and Bill about this, but maybe have a book drop off here where
Yeah.
the folks could come by the studio and drop
love
off
that.
some books for you guys. We could do a book drive, and we'll think through that, and because Margie's good at giving things
That'd
away.
be wonderful.
She is.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. But what's on demand?
So really, on demand are books in Spanish
Oh,
to help serve our refugee population
Yes.
and our Latinx population that we serve, as well as children's graphic novels. So like
We have them here because a lot
for
of
an
people hear
example.
graphic. They
Yeah,
think
yeah. I was
it's
like,
graphic.
what?
Yeah.
Exactly. So graphic novels is the term for comic books now. So
Yeah.
like Dogman is
Okay.
like the thing for anyone from ages 6 to 12. And it looks like this. So they're just comics.
Okay.
But they're easier to read. So for a student or child that sometimes is more visual, graphic novels are what they go to.
Mhm.
And we run out of these every event. That's the first thing that
Mhm.
goes. And we feel terrible that we don't have more to give the kids that come on later in the day or later. But these are the thing to have. And there's all sorts. Like Nancy Drew, Hardy Boys, the old
the
books
old
from
goodies.
Those
yeah.
are all now graphic
they're all
novels.
graphic novels now. Magic Treehouse. And we all love Magic Treehouse and Boxcar Kids. They're all in graphic
Margie and I are
novels.
at the Dick and Jane series.
Yeah.
I think
They might have
They
it. I
might
mean,
have it.
So
So they've
might
given
bring it
up
back.
cursive writing and they've given up reading.
Yeah. Have is Captain Underpants one of those?
Yes,
Yes.
the same
Yeah, I
author,
guess.
Dave Pilkey, is an amazing author. We love him. We wish we could
Do
have.
they even have comic
hundreds.
books anymore?
They do.
They do.
Oh, yes. Comic
But
books
that-
are a
They have
huge thing.
like children's
Mhm.
DC comic books.
Okay.
So like
They make
the
'em for
superheroes are
little
now
kids,
children.
toddlers. I mean, everybody.
And it's like the child version of Superman or Batman or,
Okay, because
or things
Very
like that.
cool.
We have learned a lot about books.
I'm
on the
sure.
Yeah.
But and I'm
Bookmobile.
still trying to figure out the Jessie U connection with books. Like, okay, so you take Jesse in, it's a
Mhm.
miracle.
Mhm.
Ah,
Yeah.
you've
Mhm.
transformed his life. How did you get to books on the house? Jesse?
Well, like we say, we wanted to help everybody and anybody.
yeah.
And we was sat down and we're like, well, how can we do that? And we came up with the idea that books
Our big unifier of
books
people.
bring everybody together. Everybody reads, no matter what side of the fence you are on. Everyone reads a book. And so we can reach anybody through the love of literacy. And that way, we're not leaving one person out or the other.
Right.
We're able to include everyone.
And-
And that's really the
And Jesse
the
too
big
had.
summary.
He's
or the
like, I
quick
didn't
summary.
really have books.
Yeah.
And know their importance. And he said,
Mhm.
if I had sitting at Penn State trying to get through my physics class, if I had known that reading would have been this important, I'd have started a long time ago.
I would have.
And so he's big in telling kids, like, don't stop reading. You have to read.
I tell
Take
them
it
all
from
the
me,
time.
please. Like, I didn't start reading till after high school.
Yeah, you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking of books are synonymous with a home. And they're
Yeah.
kind of an anchor, right? We have a
They
little
are.
shelf in our room, or we have books on the
Well, it
coffee
tells
table.
other people who you are.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
so if you're a child in transition, that's what we call kids
Mhm.
that bounce around, you don't have a place to put those books.
Mhm.
So
Yes.
that would be one, and if you had to make the cut between what you're going to eat or drink and then carry around a book, that's a big deal. So
It is.
I've got some ideas. My
Okay.
thinking
Ooh.
cap is on
I
of,
like
of
that.
some
We
things
love
that we can do.
ideas.
Yeah, and I think that we can flood you. Flood you with books. That's
well,
my
that
goal.
would be amazing. I know we had, we've had it happen a lot, but particularly this one woman when we were out at Camp North End, we just popped up there, and a woman had come up, and she looked very like down, and I'm like, oh, like, and
Yeah.
she had her kids in tow, and I'm like, I get it, you know, it's hard. Like you're with the kids, they're being cranky. She goes, we just had an argument about if we could do food for the week,
Yeah.
or I could get them a toy or something they wanted. And he said, and then we saw your bookmobile. And it was
Aw.
free. And now I can eat this week. I mean, literally, it
Oh,
came to that.
Lord.
Yes.
You're
Yeah.
gonna make me cry.
Yeah.
I mean, those
Mm.
are. I'm sure those are the kind of stories you hear, which is
We do.
absolutely incredible. That's a book desert.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
the decisions that certain families have to make.
Have to make.
Wow, incredible. Well, we're going to go to a station break here shortly, but if you want to call in 844-STUDIO-4, if you have an idea on how to get a book drive going or something, please give us a call. Margie and I would love to talk to you, and I know Bill was anxiously waiting for your call. I just wanted to reach out to and let everybody know that WSIC has an app, so download the app so you can watch our show anytime you want to and hear this amazing story because it's so important that we are getting the news out about books on the house.
Community Centered, presented by Macintosh Law with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle, will return after this short break on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
I'll tell you what, there's some pretty nice weather to kick off the week of the 4th, and still really not all that humid or that crazy hot. Plenty of sunshine today. Back in those mid-80s, mostly clear tonight as we drop it back into the mid-60s. For our Wednesday, we do get a little closer to that 90-degree mark, still without a lot of humidity. And for the 4th of July, well, we crank it up. Mid-90s make a return with a low pop-up storm chance. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Wednesday, July 3rd marks the annual Field of Flags Summer Celebration at Lowe's YMCA in Mooresville. This awe-inspiring event will have live music by Inspire, over 800 American flags, food trucks, and fireworks. The flags will be on display July 2nd through the 5th. On July 3rd, the Mooresville Lake Norman Exchange Club Field of Flags ceremony will be at 6 p.m. The Inspire concert, powered by Waves Entertainment, will begin at 7, with the fireworks spectacular brought to you by Randy Marion beginning at dark. We will see you on July 3rd at Lowe's YMCA in Mooresville for the Field of Flags Summer Celebration. Birkdale's Live Under the Oaks concert series continues on Friday. The Brett Milstead performance begins at 6 p.m. Kick back and relax on the green in front of the stage at Birkdale Village in Huntersville for the free Brett Milstead show on Friday night. On Saturday, the Mooresville Festival of Food Trucks offers 17 trucks from around the area and live music from local favorite Unknown Artist. Trucks will be located on both Broad and Main Streets from 5 to 8:30 p.m. Bring your chairs and friends to stroll, shop, and enjoy gourmet fare this Saturday in the downtown Mooresville Social District. The Kane Center for the Arts Week 4 of summer camps begins Monday, July 8th. Morning and afternoon camps for ages 5 to 15 include ceramics, drawing, art, food, painting, and more. The fall performance season begins Saturday, September 7th with a show by comedian Tom Cotter. For more information on summer camp programs and the fall performance schedule, visit canearts.org. That's CAIN arts.org. The Cookout Summer Shootout Series fills your need for speed each week at Charlotte Motor Speedway. The 10-race series Night 7 is on Tuesday, July 9th. Visit charlottemotorspeedway.com for tickets, details, and information. To keep up with all the events happening around the community and much more, including amazing local deals, download the WSIC News app today.
All community, all the time. Macintosh Law presents Community Centered on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
Welcome back. Honest, the time has just flown.
It has.
It always does. But
Flinging books
most
around. Yes.
important, how do they get a hold of you?
Oh, people can get hold of us a few different ways. One, our social media, which is Facebook. We are Books on the House.
Okay.
On Instagram, it's Books on the House NC on Instagram. And then our website is booksonthehouse.org.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you are looking for gently loved and used books, or
And new,
free.
or
And
new,
new.
or
And-
our
yeah.
Amazon
Yeah.
wish list. They on our website, which is booksonthehouse.org. Our website has a link to our Amazon wish list that has
Yep.
a lot of things
I
that
see
we
that.
need. Yep, in particular.
Yeah. And if you guys have a hard time picking what books you think we might want, there's
Then buy a few.
yeah, you can do that. But we also have the opportunity on our website to donate monetarily to us
Okay.
too. So there is that option as well.
Okay.
And that way we can go around and get some of the
You know
books.
what
And
kids
there
asking
are
for.
the drop-offs on your website too?
They are.
Yes.
Okay.
They are. We also have a little pop-up library at Urban District Market, which is backed by their And Coffee shop. We have a library set up that people can get free books there as well. If they can't get to us, they're there
Yeah.
and they can pick, books out and drop some off.
And if I have 100 books, you would come pick them up.
We will come pick them up. So on our website, there is a thing called Book Pickup Scheduler, and you can schedule a date and time
Okay.
for us to come get them. If it's like people go, I don't know how many that is. Well, if it's like a banker box size, one or two of those will come out to you.
Okay.
So I'm thinking, how did you fund the bookmobile to get it up and going?
So Jesse and I self-funded, and Jesse, the money he had saved from a landscaping business he had during high school and college,
Yep.
he saved that money and put it into it with me.
Yeah.
What a charmer.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's very good with that sort of thing, and he's that dedicated to it, and so am I, about making sure the access is there. That he put his own funds and my own funds to that.
Yeah. I
That's
donated my
amazing.
truck as well
And his
to
truck.
the company
Oh, wow.
to be able to help.
That is so
Get around.
beautiful.
The
Yeah.
truck is dying. I mean,
Yeah, he is.
we're like sweating every time we go out onto 277, and we're like,
Yeah.
it's gonna die today, and then
He's
we'll
on
have to
his
pull it
last
with
leg,
our
so-
with our bodies down the highway.
Yeah.
So we're really working on trying to find someone who would be
Interested in donating a truck to
donating a
us.
truck or helping us
Yeah.
get a newer truck.
Yeah.
Well, I know when I had a request for a handicap truck for a child for Little Smiles,
Mhm.
and I put it on Facebook, within 2 days we had one.
Wonderful.
So
We put-
sometimes you just have to ask.
Yeah.
Jesse and I struggle a little bit with asking.
We do.
We're
It's
a little
funny.
humble, like,
Yeah.
but okay, we're out there. If anybody wants to
If
donate a
anybody
truck
wants to donate a
to
truck.
Books on the House so we can pull the bookmobile, that would be a
I think
blessing.
it
Yeah.
would be.
Yeah.
What
for
a
us.
gift.
It doesn't only help us deliver books to the people in our local community, but it gives us the opportunity to get out into the more rural areas
Yes. It will.
where they don't have access to a library bookmobile or access to a library because
And sometimes
it's not
Amazon
even
doesn't
there.
come out there.
Yeah.
We've been asked to go up into the deep mountains in Tennessee and West Virginia.
Mhm.
We can't make it.
Yeah.
With
There's
the
no
with the
way.
truck that we have. So we're like, we're so sorry. But yeah.
Well, and we have a lot of institutions we work with where the kids aren't hospitalized, but they, you know, need somebody to come and help them out as well.
So I'm thinking it's summertime, right? And we want to keep
Yes.
our kids connected and reading and all of that. So is there a season where you're busier than not busy, or do you say
Reading is a 24-hour process.
Yeah.
So I would say the end of December and January are definitely our self-imposed downtime.
Good.
Yes.
It gives us a chance to reset the inventory, take everything out,
Mhm.
what's like just not looking good, and assessing like the springtime events. I know that, and we'll give you some numbers of our impact. This year, or since we started in March of 2023, we have given over 25,000 books away to individuals in our community. Families impacted is 5,566, and we have collected to from our generous community over 33,000 books.
That's amazing.
So it's a blessing. Like
That
we have really,
is.
but we as fast as we get them, we're putting them right back into
I was
the
going to say,
community.
do you have
It's
like a warehouse space that
we
you
do.
Yeah.
Okay.
We do. We have a wonderful warehouse space at a storage facility that are they're so good. Morningstar and Terrell, they're amazing and help us out with that. We love
Good.
it. We love
That's
it.
great.
Yeah.
We're very grateful.
Very, very grateful to
Yes.
that. But no, we're just kicking right along, and yeah, summertime is always our busy time. We were out in the heat on Sunday,
Yes.
melting on the pavement with everyone else, trying to save the dogs that we saw that were walking on the pavement
As they're
as we
burning
were
their
going.
paws.
Oh.
So we were doing dog rescue at the same time as giving books away.
It's a lot of fun though.
It was.
We go out. So what we do typically is like the weekdays. We call it our important work. But all the work we do is important, and then the weekends we do our awareness events is what we call them.
Okay.
So
Okay.
where we go out to a fun market where there's families and kids and stuff, and they're always free. We try to do free events, and we have that opportunity to raise funds and raise awareness about
need to write a
our
book.
impact.
There
You know how
are
many
two-
times we hear that? All
There
the
are
time.
2 books we need to write. One Jesse's story. The other one is the things we find inside the books.
Yes.
Ooh, we have found some spicy stuff from
Some love
1923.
letters.
Listen, so you know General Patton, the old General Patton, right? His daughter-in-law Joanne. We have letters from her to a. Listen, we get and they're verified. We're like on her letterhead with her cute little like address label, like the old kind of like address. Right? It's
Yeah.
so cute. So we have.
You find money?
No,
No, not
'Cause
yet.
you know what? Some
We keep
things
hoping.
we have
We're like we're gonna
never-
open it up and find a bunch of bonds in one.
That
book
is
or
our
something
that
like
is our
that.
like our ultimate. One day we'll find the
One day.
the big family
mother
Bible
lode.
with money. You know, like it'll be so amazing. Thank
Yeah.
you. But no, we haven't.
Can you
sadly.
just give us your phone number one more time?
Sure. Our
Yes.
phone number is 980-202-1882.
Good.
That's easy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
booksonthehouse.org. I mean, so much is on there with our gallery and all the things that we're doing and where we're going to be. And so sometimes we can't put where we're going to be because they're private events for privacy reasons. And so we keep that off of there. But we're cooking it and
Yeah,
booking it
every week.
E-
We're
every
booking
week.
it.
We're booking it.
Isn't there there's a big back to school event in Smithfield, in the Smithfield community, I think coming up in
Yes.
August. I'm just trying to think of these bigger,
Mhm.
we have Symphony in the Park. We have like
Yeah,
all
yeah.
McGuire, the Charlotte Symphony is there. Like
Mhm.
all of these kind of places would be, you need more than one book on the house.
Bookmobile.
Yes,
You
we
need
do.
books
We
on the
need
houses.
books on the house. I know, we
Yeah.
really do. We had just been at an event a couple weeks ago with the Muggsy Bogues Foundation.
Yes.
Muggsy is wonderful and so completely generous. And we had so many
And all the
people
volunteers too
out there. The volunteers we had. Shout out to Northwestern high school kids back down in Rock Hill, South Carolina. They like took to our bookmobile like crazy. We're like, books. Oh my gosh, we want books. And I'm looking at these big bulky like seniors and
Mhm.
juniors in high school going,
Football players.
do you really like books? And they're like, yeah, what do
Yeah.
you got? Like, and they were just helping us get books because it's a drive-through event. So people come get the
Yes.
groceries they need
Yeah.
and they have wonderful sponsors that do that. And the kids were like taking orders for books. And I had to teach them like, what genre do you need? You know, and it was
very
just
cool.
And he goes, I need a 16-year-old that likes young adult books. So like, girl, like
That's so cool.
it was great. We
See
had
how
a lot of
books
fun.
connect people.
It does.
I know.
I'm thinking of, my daughter coming off the school bus, she's now an adult and pregnant, but coming up with her waving the bookmobile, like just like and everything on her thing was circled, hundreds of
Yeah.
circles all over, and I was like, okay, easy does it here,
Right, right.
But this is a kid who, as an infant in her crib, would read her books, and now as an adult wants to pass that on to her
It's
future
important.
child.
Yes.
So I think that this is just such a beautiful connection for our community. Don't you, Margie? Of
I
how
do.
we bring people together.
I
And
do.
I'm thinking we need to do a book drive. And I'm also thinking lots of
Thank
times we
you.
get folks that call at Hope House and they want to do something, what can our corporation do or whatever. We can now
Yeah.
say, can you do a book
another
drive for
copy.
our friends on Books in the House and
That'd be
get some books
wonderful.
for us? We can easily do that.
Yeah.
That is, I think, an easy thing. And now I
Thank
think we're
you.
going to maybe put a book collection thing up at Hope House. But again, like we were talking during the break about donations and what comes in, sometimes you got to go through some of those things.
There's
to
some of
make
those
sure
donations.
that
And we go
that's-
through
They're a little spicy.
every
yeah,
single one.
that it's okay to. I know we get sometimes people's at the end of the school year notebook that was filled from their
Oh,
science
yes.
class.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yes.
that's great, but what are we gonna do with
Can't do
that?
that.
So,
No.
but I think that would be a marvelous way, and I also think it would be a great way to get my adolescents that are sort of floundering this summer
Yes.
involved in a little project. If they could be the sorters, right? If
That's
kids
a
book
great
here, young
idea,
adults
yeah.
there. So
And I was gonna say we have an opportunity coming up with our big fundraiser event called
Bookpalooza.
Bookpalooza.
Bookpalooza. Okay, where and when?
Ah.
So
That's- go
I'll
ahead.
let Kat take this
Oh,
one away.
okay. We always bounce off each other like
Yeah,
all
sure.
the time. It's going to be October 12th
Okay.
down at Urban District Market. It's going to be a large event. So if you're an author and want to come out, like just contact us through the website. But truly, it's going to be all day. And then at night, it's going to turn into an amazing costume party because it's close to Halloween for adults. And it's going to be more of a dance party for books and dress up as your favorite book character.
Oh,
Now,
what fun.
because Bridgerton is such a big
Oh,
thing,
yeah.
we are, and I mean, A Court of Thorn and Roses is a big series, and all the fantasy series. We hope people would come dressed as Bridgerton characters, and also fairies and vampires and whatever else is on in book Harry Potter, whatever, anything.
Very cool.
Yeah.
But it is
Very
a-
cool. I love it.
But it is a good opportunity for
Yeah.
us to connect with the community.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have
October
fun.
12th.
October 12th.
Bookapalooza.
Bookapalooza, and it's going to be at
Bookapalooza.
Urban District Market. So we'll have way more information coming out about that too.
Well, we
Definitely.
give it to us. We'll keep feeding it into the
Thank
show
you.
here. It's been a delight to
Yes.
meet
It
both of you.
has.
Thank you so much for making hope happen in our community.
Yes.
We're delighted that you spent some time with us and educated us all on what we need to be doing. And Jesse, again, shout out to you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's your
Very proud
turnaround
of you.
story.
Yep.
It's a hope-filled story, and I hope those listening Jessies out there
Yes.
got it, that they too can become marvelous like him. And thank you, Kat,
Yep.
for what you do. You've been a delight here.
Wouldn't have
on
been possible without her.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Pats on the back. Yay!
Yay, thank you.
Thanks so much.
Serving you better than ever before. 105.9, 100.7. WSIC, Statesville, Mooresville.